What if I told you these kids weren't just dancing? They're also at the same time learning their multiplication tables. Would you believe me? Would it really work for some students, all students? Well, yes, it actually would. Because what scientists have discovered over time is that people learn in different ways. They have different modalities, preferred modalities of learning. And various researchers have categorized these modalities in various ways. Some of them come up with 3 or 4 or 5 categories of learning modalities. And it behooves a teacher then, an instructor, really just at any level, to think about these different modalities when planning instruction. Because whether you're teaching art history or multiplication tables, whatever you're teaching, you've got students with different modalities of how they learn best. And you want to be fair. You want to be fair to all your students. So I'm going to do one way. I think I have 3 categories here. There are visual learners, learners who learn best using pictures, shapes, graphs, charts, and reading text. All visual activities. They learn best that way. There are other students who are more auditory. They learn best by listening, by doing rhythmic things, by singing. And then there are kinesthetic and tactile learners. Learners who learn best when they're allowed to manipulate objects or when they're allowed body movement, and especially rhythmic movement. So, think about anything you would want to teach another person, whether you were a formal school teacher or not. How would you teach that thing visually? How would you teach that thing in some way in an auditory manner? How would you teach that thing in a kinesthetic or tactile way? And if you had more than one student all at the same time, how would you create a lesson that uses all 3 of those modalities within the lessons? At some point in the lesson, one of those is being used until finally all of them have been used in the lesson. So it gives everybody the best possible chance of learning in their most optimum way. It does put a complication on instruction, obviously, but it also levels the playing field when you realize that you have students with all these different preferences and they all deserve to get the benefit of the kind of instruction they learn best with. As I say, researchers have come up with various categories and such. This is kind of a basic way of doing it. You might want to do some supplemental reading to see how other researchers have categorized learning modalities. You might also find online that there are places where you can take a quiz and find out your own preferred modality in case you aren't quite sure for yourself. So, I'll take some notes here and do some review here, do some supplemental reading, and go take a quiz on yourself and see what's your best way to learn.